Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the All About Favor show. I'm your host, Pastor KZ. Oh my God, y'all, I got so many emails from last night, from yesterday's video. I will respond to them, and yes, I will do a part two on that at a later date also. So thank you again. And as regarding the booklet, some of you have already started placing orders. I've already gotten my notifications from Amazon getting back to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And please pick some up for your sisters, your sorors. Pick them up. And men, you can benefit from this too. This is not gender specific. And I wanted to just go over something that's in this booklet. Here's one chapter that says, "You don't have to be perfect. And why try?" See, some of you are trying to be perfect. You are trying to just do everything the way people expect. You don't have to be perfect. Accept that you are a flawless individual and work on those things. Some of you are perfectionists. You have your OCD issues going on. And when things don't work out or manifest in the way that you should, you start having meltdowns or you get overwhelmed. You don't have to do those things. And it says here's one. You can't reach your full potential until you learn to live your life in the present. And then there's room for you to write your feelings about this. Some of you live in the past too much. You can't move forward with your life because you keep reliving the good old days or painful bad memories of experiences that you have. You can't live your life in yesterday. You can't live, as Pearl Cleaves, the author, say, you cannot live your life in the wreckage of your past baggage. You can't do that. So it's many little things in this booklet to get you to think, and little exercises you can do. And it says, for all the doors slammed on you, you're going to buy a whole new building. You're going to make it through. So my thought for the end of this week, dry your tears and get back to you because you matter. Dry your tears and move on. Your past experiences, the memories, some of the memories that you're holding on to, sometimes can hold you back and hinder your growth. You know, things happen to all of us in life. We have history. We have things, memories, some good, some bad. But when you start allowing yourself to live so much so in the past that you're not moving forward in your life, it becomes a problem. So some of your memories can be holding you back. You've got to try your best to stop carrying around your pain and your bad experiences. That is why it's important that you journal, or you get into therapy, or you get in a support group with other people who've encountered some of the same situations or similar situations that you all can grow from and learn to heal. You know what? It's so many people got things that's unhealed, but they think that they've just moved on with their life. They've tucked this away and they never speak about it, but that stuff is festered and just inside you. You gotta at some point begin to heal. Let me say this, and it's very critical that you hear me. At some point in your life, you have to release things in order for you to move forward. And you have to release things in order for God to replace it with better things. See, some of you can't understand why you're stuck. It's because you haven't released some hurt. You haven't released some situation you've encountered. Sometimes you hold on to things, and the things that you're holding on to the most are things you need to release. Just put it in the hands of the Most High so He can replace it or replenish it or restore your soul. David says, He restoreth my soul. Your soul is not restored because you haven't released that pain. You haven't released that hurt. So at some point, In order to move forward with your life, you got to release some things. You know, when you've cried all your tears, what else is left to do? When you've cried and cried and cried about it, at some point you got to get up. At some point you got to decide that I got to get back up, pull myself together, and breathe again. I know it's hard to hear that. I'm not telling you something I read from a book. I'm telling you something I've experienced. Y'all, things will get better. It will turn around. Now, there is no time frame on any of this. People have different time frames of healing. People have different time frame of dealing with grief, dealing with loss. So don't let nobody tell you how long you should grieve. Oh, you know, your mama been gone now 6 months. You ought to be over this by now. Oh, girl, your mama been dead now 5 years and you still crying about it? Yeah, I am. You might not have had the same relationship with your mama. So don't let nobody convict you like that. But please believe me when I tell you, eventually you've got to get going again. You're going to have your moments throughout life. Because you know what? There's some losses that you'll never get over. But you just have to keep going on. I hear people say, once they buried their mama or their daddy or their husband or their wife or their child or their grandchild, they went to work 2 days later and end up having a meltdown one day. You got to take time to grieve. You've got to take time to grieve, y'all. You know, I hear an artist, and some of you may be familiar with her and you may not. Megan Thee Stallion. She's a rapper. And yes, I'm a pastor. I'm in ministry. But I have to be up on all entities of society because I don't just minister to people sitting in a church. My ministry is for people who are outside and may never come inside of a church. I minister to people's needs, people's heart. People have things they need. Because I feel like this. The church is just not the four walls of a building. You carry your church with you wherever you go. And there's some people have been church hurt and they'll never go back to one again. So you have to walk in the light and be able to give a word to people, no matter who they are, no matter what lifestyle they live. You don't know, you might be the catalyst of them changing their lives. But Megan Thee Stallion, she said she felt so broken when her mother suddenly, and she unexpectedly transitioned. But she was on tour, and the tour people say the tickets are sold out, Meg. You got to get on this stage and twerk and do what you paid to do. And she said she toured and it suddenly hit her. She just had a meltdown, a breakdown. And everybody around her was like, well, what's wrong with you? What's going on? And they didn't realize this girl just put her mama, laid her to rest, and had to get right on that plane and fly and do a show. You know, barely had time to attend the repast. You got to understand, there's some hurt people out there. But at some point, in due time, you have to dry your tears and begin to get back going so you can move forward and move on with your life. But sometimes people expect you to move forward and you're not ready because you haven't healed and you haven't grieved. God will give you the strength you need. I'm a living witness to it. He will strengthen you, as I stated yesterday. If it means letting some people go who bring you anxiety, upheaval, and toxic emotions, you have to love some people at a distance. If it means changing your job or changing careers to improve your physical and mental health, then I guess you need to be writing that letter of resignation or going down there to Human Resources, submitting your papers to retire. Because listen, I don't care what job it is, no job is worth you losing your sanity over. Do you understand a lot of your physical health problems is directly tied to something going on with you emotionally? Something going on with you, some anxiety, some depression, all of that is linked to your physical health. You wondering why your heart is racing, and they've done EKGs, stress tests, and all of that, and they say ain't nothing wrong with your heart. But if you read Juanita Bynum's book, The Heart, talking about the heart, is something wrong, but it's not physical. You wonder why you have all of these anxiety attacks, panic attack, mood swings, insomnia. Your eating is off. You're up and down in your weight. You're emotionally eating. You're emotional shopper. You're talking about, I'm going to do some retail therapy. You're doing that because something else is going on. Some people you just got to love at a distance. If it means changing your job, you got to do that. Anything it takes to improve your well-being, you must do it. What I'm saying to end this week with is your life is important. You matter. We only have a short time on this side. Whether we're here 20 years, 50 years, 75, 80, 90, even some people have lived to be over 100. The time you have on this side, it's not promised and it's not guaranteed. I spoke about her last week, our dear sister Angie Stone, who's a member of the Divine Nine. And she did a show on Friday night and Saturday morning. Transition due to an auto accident. That sister had just celebrated her birthday 2 months prior. Didn't even get 90 days in the new year. You got to understand life is precious and life is short. You only have one, and you've got to make the most of the time you have. Do not spend your time wasting time. I am a proponent. I'm just going to be ebonically incorrect for a moment. I ain't going to do it. Not wasting time, and I'm not placing my energy on junk. I'm not doing nonsense. I'm not doing chaos. I'm not doing toxicity. I'm not doing drama, and I am not going to walk around picking up other people's stuff. If this don't directly involve me, I ain't got time for it. I will pray for you, but I can't let that energy of yours drain me. That's just how it is. Because see, I've been sick. I have been diagnosed with something. I have been where I didn't know if I was going to make it through. Only the Most High brought me through and is keeping me. It ain't the medication. It ain't the medical treatment. Those things help, but I know it's the Most High God that keeps me and strengthens me and keeps waking me up, because I know the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? When I say I shall not fear what man shall do unto me. Y'all, you got to love yourself. Celebrate yourself. Live your dream. It's time for you to choose yourself for once. You have sacrificed so much of yourself, so much of your time, so much of your energy. You've denied yourself. You've struggled. You've been there for people. You've been there for your children. You've been there for your spouse. You've been there for your family. You've helped support people. You've pulled people out of some bad situations. You've helped them financially, all different kind of ways. And I'm going to say this. At some point, you got to let your grown adult children fend for themselves. That's difficult to hear, but at the same way you had to make it, at some point, you're going to have a difficult conversation and say, listen, babe, I love you. Mama always going to love you. Me and your daddy, we're going to always be here for you when you need us. But you got to fly now. You got to leave the nest. We can't keep bailing you out. Because your mama and your daddy, we now empty nesters. We both have worked on our jobs over 30-some, 40-some years. Baby, we both got some health issues going on. We both now over 40, over 50, over 60, over 70. And we blessed. But now it's time for us to do a little traveling and do some things we want to do while we yet have a portion of our health. It's time for y'all to make it. Because at some point, y'all keep living. Y'all will sit on the front row, as I did, me and your daddy both. Orphans. We have buried our mothers. We've buried our fathers. We've buried our grandparents. And one day, you too will sit on that front row. When whether it's me or whether it's your daddy laying there. And we have given you the tools now. You're going to have to dry your tears, and you got to live. And you got to go on. So what we have done is prepared y'all. Now y'all got to fly on your own. So I'm saying to somebody today, live your life. Be happy. Enjoy life. I know the Creator did not put us down here to be miserable all the time and to be broke and broken all the time. We have ups and downs in life. We have good days, we have bad days. But as the song says, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. And you've got to really get to the state where you say, I won't complain. Think about it over the weekend. You got one life. Live it. Live it. Check off some things on your bucket list. Take that trip you've been putting off. You keep saying, well, I'm trying to save. As I said a few weeks ago, I'm going to wait. I'm going to work 3 more years and then I'm going to retire. You're already 67. You're already 70. Why? What difference is a couple $100 going to make? And you're around here stressing out on a job. You know how many people now has decided, you know what? I'm going to live my life. I've had enough. I want to see some things. I want to travel. Even if I don't want to do nothing but just garden. Add on to my porch or patio. Do that. You know what? Don't hold on to things. Know how to release things so that you can live a life and be at peace. Protect your peace. Get yourself focused, y'all. Think about some of the things I'm saying. Find your balance. You know what? Some of the things going on with you, you'll find. I know for me, when I retired, y'all, it took 20-some years off my life. Oh my God, I was so stress-faced, always breaking out. I'd go through ups and downs in my weight. Sometimes I'd gain, sometimes I'd lose. Just couldn't sleep, just up all night long, stressing. Because, oh my God, what emails I'm going to get today? What staff meetings got to go on today? You know, free yourself. There's nothing like being free. and be at peace. Don't worry about everything going around you economically, politically. That's going to do what it do. Because ultimately, that's who's in control, the Most High. That's how it is. Think about it. Dry your tears. Stop holding on to bad memories. Move forward with your life. Have a wonderful weekend. And I hope I've said something this week that have piqued your interest and sparked an enthusiasm, sparked some inspiration for you. Don't forget, pick up one of the workbooks. Again, have a wonderful weekend. And guess what? I will see you back, and I'm always here for you. I got nothing but love in my heart for you, and send me an email, okay? And I definitely promise I will get back with you. I'll see you back on Monday.